Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday the 13th. So today we're going to talk about doing the important things first. And of course, through many videos, we've gone over what the important things is. And there's some of the things I'm going to say in here you've heard before, but I'm going to remind you some things and give you some different thoughts about time management. Now, time management is actually really not, we're not managing time. You can't change time. We all have the same amount of time every day. You're not managing it and changing time. You're changing the events and appointments and tasks. So it's really event management, time or appointment management, task management. And you got to think of it that way because you can't change time. That's that. We all know that. It's just we all have the same amount of time, and whoever gets the most done and do the most important things first usually wins the game of whatever game we're playing. And in real estate, that's basically it. Whoever does the most important things first. But when I was thinking about this the other day and coming up with the topic for today, I remember reading a book many years ago. Was by Brian Tracy. If you've heard of Brian Tracy, motivational speaker, business planner, helps people better themselves. He had a book called Eat That Frog. So if you have read it, great. If not, it's a great little book. So basically, Eat That Frog, what he was trying to say in that book was, well, first I'll say the history of that phrase. He said it was actually a Mark Twain saying, eat that frog. And what Mark Twain meant, and I learned this through Brian Tracy. I didn't read that part or that quote from Mark Twain, but he said that eat that frog. If you eat a frog first thing in the morning, it's probably going to be the worst thing that happens to you all day. So that was a Mark Twain quote. But what Brian Tracy was relating this to time management, event management, is that the frog is usually the hardest thing and the most important thing you have to do. And people eat the tadpoles and the things that are easier to do every day. And then by the end of the day, you don't get to that frog, the important thing that you have to do. And I think he uses that term frog because also, I don't think any of us want to eat a frog, but that sometimes those important things are stuff we don't want to do. But if we know we have to eat, back to the Mark Twain, if we know we have to eat a frog and get things done, if we get it done early in the day or before you do anything else, then you know it's done. And then again, back to that Mark Twain, it's the worst thing that happened all day. You got those things done. But when we're listening, and there's videos on YouTube of Brian Tracy. If you want to search this on YouTube, there's a short video of it too. I just wanted to make sure that was there so you don't have to read the whole book. But he refers to this as, he's not going right into real estate. So he was talking about, Brian Tracy, about time management, putting everything down to A, B, C, D, E of things that you have to get done. But when you listen to him or read him, it's really about, he's talking about everybody in general, people that have jobs, people that might have a boss or people that are counting on them, that the important things are always sometimes other things people need you to do or you're going to have consequences. Like if you had another job, you had to write a report that's due by the next morning because your boss needs it for a board meeting, or you have a job, you're a manager of a business and you have to open up every day. And if you're not there first before it open up the business, everybody else can't get in. The business is not open. So there's certain things there. But in real estate, you're your own boss. And that's the disconnect. This is the disconnect agents have, is that they don't put themselves in a boss and there's no consequence. And it's hard. Sometimes you don't get mad at yourself or you don't have consequences if you don't do the important things first. Of course, in real estate, there's important things. And Brian Tracy uses a good example of putting those A, B, C, D, E list. Clients you have to talk, things that you have to do, the inspections, making sure the loan's approved. Appraiser has to get into the property today. Closings happening tomorrow, making sure the buyer and seller know if they've signed their papers already or they're scheduled, then the title company hasn't messed up the time and didn't contact them. So there's a lot of things that you have to do. But again, going back, you have to prospect because there's a few things, and there's a flow in real estate. You've got to first get the lead. You got to turn the lead and convert them into a client, and then you got to get that client into a house and into closing. That's the flow of it. You can't go right to closing. You can't go right to client. You got to get the lead first, and that's got to be your frog every day. That's the things that you have to do every day. The frog that you have to know, and that's the one thing. When I talk to agents and when I'm coaching agents, this is the one thing that they're not doing enough of or not doing at all. There's are a few of agents that I talk to, and some of you are watching, you know who you are, that when I talk to you once a week and they say, well, I really didn't do much this week in reaching out to people. Well, the good news is you said it and you hear yourself say it and you admit to it, and that's why your business is where it's at. But there are some agents out there, and some of you are watching, and that are doing the right things, and things just haven't clicked yet. There is a little bit of luck in it. There is, especially the new agents that I'm talking to, and there's several of you out there that I've talked to every week or more about their transactions, but they just say, I'm doing the things, I'm placing the ads, I'm making the calls, I'm joining the networking groups, I'm got my web page, I got my Facebook page, I'm doing Facebook ads. Sometimes, yes, sometimes it just takes some time, but if I'm telling you you're doing the right things, you're doing the right things, and it's all a matter of time when that's going to click. So think of this. So today, I don't want to take up too much of your time, is that the game of real estate, I'll just say it's a game. Whoever's doing the most important things, which is prospecting, finding more leads, finding more business, is winning the game. That's all they're doing. I'm telling you. Well, outside, let's say that's number one. Number two, they're giving their clients great service. So they're referring them to other people and getting referrals from those clients. So they're doing a great job, of course, when they have a client. You can't get leads, do a terrible job, and screw up the closing, and it was a horrible experience for them. That's not going to help. But just saying that all being equal, every agent's doing a good job. The one that's getting the most leads, that's converting those leads, that's getting them to closing, that the people asking for referrals, it's getting more involved, that's out there doing things, is getting the business. That's it. So today, just think of what's your frog every day. What are those important things? Those important things are prospecting. You got to do it. You got to do it, and you got to have organized. And if you want to read or watch the videos of Brian Tracy, gives you ideas on how to prioritize those, like A, B, C, D, E, of what important things you do. And I guarantee you, when you do that, you're probably going E to A. You're doing eating those tadpoles first. You're checking your emails and see if there's anything there. You're playing around with your technology and your Facebook and quoting and doing things on Facebook, and you're going, all those things that are not 100% required, but still good to do. But you should be doing those important things first. So that's it for today. Hope that kind of gives you another perspective on doing the important things first, something to think about. And remember, if some of the important things, again, are not always the greatest fun things to do, if you enjoy it, that's even better. It makes your life easier. And I promise you, anything that you continue to do and get results in, you're going to enjoy it. It's kind of like when you ever see people like, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to go exercise every day and go to the gym. At the beginning, it stinks. You hate it. You're like, oh, I'm sweating. I got to get to the gym. I got to do all this work. But then as soon as you start seeing results, you're like, I like this. This is nice. And then because you're getting the results. Real estate's like that too. It just sometimes takes some time. And when you get the results, you're going to enjoy the process more. That's it. Have a wonderful Friday, and we'll see you Monday at 11. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.